EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for September 2nd, 2025. The Tuesday video forecast is proudly sponsored by Mark Damiani Painting Incorporated. We are on the precipice of fall. In fact, it was the start of meteorological fall yesterday, and it's time to start planning for those cozy months ahead. This winter, why not add a burst of color to your living space or refresh that well-loved kitchen or bathroom? At Mark Damiani Painting Incorporated, they specialize in transforming interiors with their residential and commercial painting services. With over 40 years of experience, their family-owned business is dedicated to delivering exceptional quality and customer service that you can trust. Whether you're looking for a bold new look or a subtle update, their expert team will guide you through every step, including wallpaper removal and custom color consultations that are tailored just for you. Proudly serving the Southeast PA counties of Montgomery, Bucks, and Chester. Call them today at the phone number above me here in the video, 484-571-9233. to schedule your free estimate. And don't forget, if you mention EPAWA, you'll receive 15% off the total cost of any job that is scheduled between January and March of 2026. They are Mark Damiani Painting Incorporated, proud sponsor of the Tuesday video forecast. So today we're going to be back to pretty much the same weather we had yesterday. It's going to be another mostly sunny day. Humidity's not going to be too bad today, as you can see in the humidity or the dew points here, looking at generally in the 50s across the entire region, except for maybe getting 60 or low 60s here nearest the shore points southeast of I-95. But the rest of us are going to be generally in the 50s today. So comfortable, generally lower humidity, temperatures in the 75 to 80 degree range. It's actually getting a little bit closer to normal. Technically, it is slightly below average for this time of year. We're still kind of in the lower 80s right now for normal highs. So we are coming down. Every week it's dropping about 2 degrees or so. Once we get to the middle of September, it's going to accelerate that process and drop about 3 degrees per week for both highs and lows. But we're not quite there yet. So normal highs right now are in the lower 80s. So 75 to 80 is still technically slightly below average. And then you see tomorrow, more mostly sunny skies and temperatures in the 78 to 82 degree range. So we're going to bump it up a little bit here on Wednesday, but mostly sunny skies will continue for that. We are going to be generally closer to average the rest of the week, all the way through probably Saturday, as a matter of fact. There is a cold front that's going to be coming at us here on Thursday. I do think this is going to be an overnight deal, though, evening and overnight. As this comes through, there could be at least some decent rain with this. Nothing crazy, but I mean, we're looking at maybe get a quick quarter inch out of this, which would be great. I mean, it's not exactly what we need, but it's something. We haven't had anything in a while, and we just got done with a very, I mean, this past Labor Day weekend, you couldn't have drawn it up any better. It was absolutely perfect all 3 days. And if you had any outdoor plans, you absolutely loved it, because it was perfect temperatures, low humidity, and mostly sunny skies, and that's going to continue here. Looks like through at least Wednesday and part of Thursday until this cold front moves through overnight. It's mostly an overnight deal, maybe a leftover early shower on Friday. That's possible, but the long range NAM is suggesting no, that won't be the case. Here is early Thursday afternoon on the NAM. This is the lower resolution NAM because the 3 kilometers not in range yet, but it gives you a general idea of a cold front moving toward you. And there could be some period of rain as this comes through. But this is looking at 8 o'clock in the evening. It might get into our western areas by late afternoon, but I think the rest of us are just going to be looking at evening for this to occur. And there's 11 p.m., 2 a.m., and then by the time you get to the morning, there's nothing left. So the NAM suggesting it's going to be done, and it's going to be an over evening and part of the overnight, and that's it. It's all you have for any kind of rain from that particular system. And then going to Friday, we should be in an in-between day. Maybe there's a morning shower, but it's starting to look like it's going to be less likely. The next front behind that is a secondary front that's going to make its way through on Saturday. Now, there's some timing differences with this. This is looking at maybe some precipitation with this as it moves through. It's still up in the air with that. We'll revisit this throughout the week, but this is looking out on the GFS anyway, showing this come through Friday night. And then on Saturday morning, it is over eastern areas and continues off to the southeast, leaving Saturday dry, okay, just partly cloudy. As that secondary front moves through behind this, there's some cooler air that's going to work its way in here. We're going to get another one of those shots of cooler air. I'll show you that in a second here too. But there's some timing differences with this. This is mainly a Friday night deal. for this secondary front to move through. Matter of fact, this is just past midnight on Friday night. So, and then by the time you get to Saturday morning, maybe a leftover shower in our eastern areas, but then that's it. The European model, though, is notably slower. I'll get to the temperatures in a minute. The European model is notably slower and brings in it a full 24 hours later. Okay, so this brings it in on Saturday and makes this a Saturday evening deal. Late afternoon and evening, some showers with a secondary front coming through. But they both agree that Sunday is going to turn cooler again with that trough settling in. And when it does, we're going to have cooler temperatures work back in for a couple of days. It looks like it's going to be about a 3 or maybe 4 day stretch where you're back to slightly below average, at least slightly below average. In some cases, several degrees below average. But then once we get into later in the week, these temperatures are going to moderate a little bit closer to normal again. So it's kind of an up and down thing right now that we're in. It's not really cold per se. I mean, we're talking about temperatures in the lower 70s on Sunday and Monday, and mostly sunny skies. But the biggest thing here is going to be timing this cold front here. I think we're pretty much set on a Thursday night influence of any kind of shower activity moving through. With the initial cold front, this is the actual cold front. This is a secondary front coming through. This is a secondary front that's a little bit in question right now as far as timing, with one saying Friday night and the other one saying, oh no, it's going to be more like Saturday afternoon and night. So, of course, we have plans on the weekends still. So this is going to be a very important detail as we move throughout the week. And, of course, the NAM is not arranged yet to make a decision between the two. Let's see what the Canadian does. I haven't even looked at that today because it's really not necessary, because Canadian looks like it's a little bit faster than European model, kind of halfway in between, but it doesn't have very much precipitation with it. So either way, we're going to follow this throughout the week and see where we trend. With that secondary front, looks like the first front's coming through Thursday night, and that's pretty much agreed upon with both of those models. So we'll see where we go from here. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martish. That is your outlook for September 2nd, 2025. Have a great Tuesday.